10 years ago, I thought an average person's salary would be around $411, but I didn't expect that 10 years later, it's still $411. Now, it's fine if this salary goes back to what it was 10 years ago, but the prices also need to return to what they were then. 10 years ago, I was working at a bank with a monthly salary of over $800, and now I'm still at the bank but earning over $650 a month. I also have to meet task targets to get my full salary. More netizens described their difficult living situations. 4 months ago, I was working at a large company in Beijing, taking home $450 a month. After switching jobs, my salary went up to $548. Yesterday, I looked at job listings and saw that an office clerk position in Guangzhou offered only $315 a month. Someone also mentioned that this month they bought a set of clothes for $109, had a few cups of milk tea for $27, attended a couple of parties costing $68, took my parents out for a meal for $41, purchased some cosmetics for $27, and spent about $10 for a friend's birthday. Adding it all up, my total expenses for the month was $480, while my salary is just $411, so I'm spending more than I earn. Today, I had interviews with 3 companies. The first one offered a decent salary, but it felt a bit unreliable. The second one had a base salary of $548, but after Social Security deductions, it was around $411, which is too low. I wasn't very satisfied with the third one either. My friend suggested I take some time off and go home, waiting until after the Chinese New Year to look for a job. But it's really tough at this stage, and I still want to find something as soon as possible. Wages in Xi'an feel even lower now compared to when I was job hunting 2 years ago. Some people online say it's even tough to find a job in Beijing now. The job market there in 2024 is super competitive and at a whole new level. At the same time, some of the excessive requirements in job postings are really frustrating. For example, they won't hire anyone with just a college degree because it's considered too low. They won't hire fresh graduates because they lack experience. They won't consider anyone over 30, saying the team needs to stay young. They won't hire someone who's unmarried or childless, worrying that you'll get married and have kids and slow down your work. They won't hire someone married but without kids, fearing that you'll take maternity leave and leave the team short-staffed. And even if you're married with kids, they might worry that you'll prioritize family over work. Right now, anyone over 35 is seen as outdated, and you don't even get the chance for an interview. It's even more distressing that after sending out hundreds of resumes, I haven't received a single reply. After finally getting an interview, I found that the interviewer's attitude was perfunctory, and most interviewers simply told us to wait for further notice. Walking through what used to be bustling streets, one finds that cities like Beijing seem to have become much quieter. The subways are no longer as crowded as before, instead they feel empty. Does all of this make one feel even more lost and helpless? A lot of people are puzzled. Unemployment is so high and wages are dropping. These are clearly negative news, so why does the government still allow them to spread online? For example, a job priced at $685, but due to fierce competition, someone quickly offers to take it for $479. Then the price keeps getting pushed down, with offers at $400, $300, and so on, until the wage for this job becomes insufficient to sustain a living. This phenomenon is a form of vicious competition, essentially like a price war for products. The same is true in the online shopping market. A popular item might originally sell for $2, but in a bid to attract customers soon, someone offers it for less than $2, even $1. Over time, prices keep getting lower and eventually no one can make a profit, which also dampens production enthusiasm. One internet user mentioned that when she saw many people discussing jobs with monthly salaries of just over $400, she felt proud to be earning $479. However, she later realized that the government allowed these discussions to spread, which not only lowered job seekers' psychological expectations but also allowed companies to use this common phenomenon as an excuse for low wages, further driving down salary levels. A company had an HR department looking to hire a college student with a salary budget of $616. A few days later, the boss asked to reduce the salary to $411. The HR staff was puzzled, questioning why they would lower the salary when they couldn't even find candidates at $616. The boss responded that online sources suggested that college graduates were only worth $411 and that there were plenty of job seekers available. This indicates that employers now believe that the value of a college degree is just $411. Netizens pointed out that college students have also started to believe they are worth this salary, and even those around them hold the same view. This reflects an abnormal societal perception where salaries are no longer determined by skills and positions but are instead aligned with general public opinion. Behind this perception is the government's control of information to stabilize society and suppress the needs and thoughts of the populace. It's a method of psychological control. Shenzhen is leading the way with salary cuts again. 3 years ago, they cut teachers' pay, and now it's the doctors' turn. The salary cuts are as much as 30 to 50%, with not just performance-based pay being reduced, but also base salaries. Some doctors are seeing their annual salary drop by $27,400. This pay cut trend isn't just happening in Shenzhen, but also in other parts of the country. A lot of doctors and bloggers have mentioned that hospitals in their areas are also making big pay cuts. At the beginning of 2024, an online poll showed that 88% of healthcare workers reported their hospitals had already started cutting salaries, with some even receiving only $68, causing a sharp increase in financial pressure. Yesterday, when the salaries were distributed, my coworkers and I were shocked. The notice said that there would be a pay cut, and I thought it was just the bonus part, since we haven't received bonuses for more than half a year anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it turns out they actually cut the base salary. I've recently seen a lot of hospital staff talking about how their bonuses have been cut a lot, and everyone's really upset. I'm not that bothered though because my bonus was already low and never paid on time. Even when it's paid, it's less than $300, so I've always been pretty broke. A lot of people ask why I don't just quit with such a low salary. The reasons are simple. First, my salary has been delayed for months, so I might not get it if I leave. Second, the penalty for breaking my contract is too high, up to $27,400, which I can't afford. Still, the thought of quitting and switching careers is starting to cross my mind. The workload keeps increasing, but the salary keeps decreasing. How much longer can we keep going? Salary cuts are actually the better situation. Some hospitals can't even pay their staff anymore, and some have even shut down. What's even more frustrating is that while salaries aren't rising, in some places Social Security contributions have actually gone up. Starting in December this year, the actual minimum Social Security contribution in Shenzhen rose from $482 to $615, an increase of 27.5%. This surprised many people, especially since Shenzhen's Social Security contributions have increased twice in 1 year, which is hard for ordinary people to accept. Netizens pointed out that in previous years the increases were small, just a few dollars here and there, so it didn't feel like much. But this year it suddenly went up by more than $200, and people also had to make up the difference between the months of July and November, which left many feeling like their wallets were empty. Some joked, "The money you make in Shenzhen, you end up spending it all in Shenzhen. Don't even think about taking a penny home." For those with a fixed salary, such a rise is hard to bear. Shenzhen's minimum Social Security contribution base is $316. With high rent and daily expenses after the Social Security deduction, many people can only barely make ends meet.